This is my thing. That's right. Welcome back to the Frandreview after a long hiatus. We're back.
8 months of no reviews. We actually did an entire review for the film Neighbors 2 Sorority Rising and just didn't release it.
I don't know why that happened, but it was a good movie.
Good movie. We liked it.
Liked it a lot.
Even though we didn't release the review. Maybe we'll release it in the future. I don't know.
Seems kind of out of date now. But
Yeah, it does. Who knows? What about the ravenous fan base? What if they demand it?
yeah, what about our fan? My mom really likes these, so. Anyways, you're going to hear us talk about Split. So we'll see you at the end of the video to tell you what our final thoughts are. Today we are reviewing Split, written and directed by M. Night Shyamalan, starring James McCavoy.
James McCavoy plays a character named Kevin who suffers from multiple personality disorder. He actually has 23 distinct personalities all living within his body. Now, 2 of these personalities, one older woman and one man, actually believe that there's a 24th personality that they call the Beast. And they believe that the Beast needs to be fed human flesh in the form of young teenage girls so that Kevin can achieve a higher level of evolution. Now, during the film, Kevin's other 21 personalities actually vie for position in the spotlight to stop these 2 personalities from doing something crazy. Which, of course, they do. They end up kidnapping 3 girls and getting them ready for this sacrifice to the Beast.
Like most of M. Night Shyamalan's films, Split relies on the element of surprise and a twist. There's a big twist, which I think everyone was expecting. But if you don't want that twist to be ruined and you don't want any spoilers, this is your warning. Stop now. Come back after you've watched the film. And I can't really think of a way that we're going to review this without giving away major details to the plot. So this is your warning. Stop now. We're going to go forward with the review.
So, as was mentioned before, this movie was directed by M. Night Shyamalan, who we all know from great films such as The Sixth Sense, Unbreakable, and Signs, and then some other movies that we won't mention. He's a director who's always been known for his writing. He's a fantastic writer, always has very complex plots, very well fleshed out characters. And for once, surprisingly, I'd say this is a film that actually isn't really held up on its writing. I'd say that the acting is actually where this film really found its footing. The premise of the film is obviously very, very fascinating. A man with 23 different personalities all existing in one body. But I'd say that it's not so much the writing, but actually James McAvoy's performance of this character of Kevin that brings the movie to life and actually is why I would really recommend going to see the film in the first place.
James McAvoy's acting is at the forefront of this film. He's playing 23 different personalities in the same body. So that's a tall order for anyone to fill as an actor. And I think he just hits it absolutely out of the park. You really do believe that there are 23 distinct personalities living in this one person's body. And how McAvoy portrayed all these different personalities was just incredible. You didn't question for a second that there were 23 distinct people, essentially, living in this one body. And the mannerisms that differentiated them were subtle and interesting, and it was just a really incredible performance just all around by James McAvoy.
James McAvoy's brilliant performance is most evident, I think, in a particular scene in the film where he goes to see his psychiatrist who's helping him with his multiple personalities. And in the movie, it's a really kind of sort of brilliant scene. One of his personalities is actually impersonating another one of his personalities in the office. And the personality that is currently at the forefront actually has OCD and has to pretend to be this really flamboyant fashion personality that he also has. And the scene is really tense, and you can see how hard the personality is fighting to get over his OCD so that he can put on a convincing performance to this psychiatrist. And it was just, I thought, a really brilliant scene and something I've never seen before in a movie. So I think that was definitely a wonderful part of the film. I was really impressed with the three female leads in this movie. For once, we had leads in a thriller, horror, whatever kind of movie it was, that weren't useless pieces of garbage. There was actually there was the lead girl who obviously she was pretty resourceful and she kind of knew what she had to do to survive the situation. But for once, we had one of the more tertiary characters, one of the secondary lead female actresses, who's also incredibly resourceful and incredibly brave. And I thought that was kind of unique. Very rarely in a film like this, like a horror thriller, do you ever see the tertiary character step up and actually be worthwhile somewhat. I mean, the third female was a fucking useless piece of garbage, but whatever. It's not perfect. I can't expect everybody to be super valuable.
The other thing I really enjoyed about Split is how the film ends. So Kevin is still at large after murdering and abducting these 3 teenage girls, one of who survives. And we see this newscast where they're describing the story, and they actually give Kevin a name, a serial killer name, if you will, and they're calling him the Horde, based on journal entries that these reporters have uncovered of his. So the camera pans across this diner to reveal Bruce Willis, and that really connects Split with Unbreakable, and essentially creates a Shyamalan almost superhero universe, I suppose, which I thought was a brilliant twist and just a great way to, give him something to expand on in the future. And I really hope we see more in this, I guess, potentially trilogy or series. It really could be anything based on how he left it.
So there's one performance I really have to highlight in this movie, and it actually, my favorite part of the movie wasn't even the personality disorder. It wasn't even James McCavoy. It wasn't even my favorite part of the whole film. Our lead female character has flashbacks throughout the length of the film in which she's 5 years old and she's going hunting with her father and her uncle. And the little girl they got to play, the younger version of our lead female character, her name is Izzy Coffey, and she was brilliant. The moment I saw her on screen, she's adorable, first of all. The moment I saw her on screen, like, I audibly said, I'm like, that is the cutest little fucking girl I've ever seen. And as the film goes on, we start to realize what the point of these flashbacks are. We find out that this little girl, or our lead female character, actually went through some horrible trauma when she was younger. And the little girl played it off so well. Only 5 years old. Well, I don't know if the actress was 5 years old. I'm going to assume she was about 5 years old. But only 5 years old, and just runaway performance. I'm excited to see more things from this little girl in the future, because she was just fantastic.
My primary criticism of Split really has to do with the marketing. They really made it seem like it was going to be a horror film with like lots of scary notes to it, and it was way more of a, not slow burning, but it was more of a thriller with lots of suspense as opposed to horror. So that's really my main criticism, is that I went into it thinking it's going to be this horror movie. I was expecting to be scared, and there weren't really any of those notes at all. So I think it's more of a failing with the marketing than it is with the actual film itself. But still, it was kind of a disappointment.
I guess problems I had with the movie, if you've seen a trailer for the movie, you know exactly what to expect. That's what really disappointed me. From what I know about M. Night Shyamalan and from M. Night Shyamalan films of the past, I've always expected them a little bit more from them, in terms of writing, in terms of the plot just really surprising me and throwing twists at me. This movie never really threw a twist at me or never really surprised me in any way. They sort of present a situation at the beginning, and the movie really just follow that premise the whole way throughout. The ending was, of course, crazy, as we talked about before. But if you're not familiar with M. Night Shyamalan's previous work, then it'll totally be lost on you. So I can't really give the movie too many points for that. But I do think the premise was interesting. I think the acting was fantastic. I think the movie delivered on the premise of the film well. I like I said, I don't think it throws any curveballs. There's nothing that I was really shocked by throughout the length of the film. But yeah, I would say it was definitely an enjoyable time in the theater.
So we're back. I don't know, I liked it. You weren't as much of a fan.
I liked it. It was good.
I'm a big M. Night fan. Unbreakable is one of my favorite films of all time, so I really liked Split, and I'm going to give it 4 tears out of 7 bacons.
Split was very good. Definitely James McAvoy I think he deserves a nod. I don't know from what award ceremony, from some or other award ceremony. He definitely needs some or other nod for acting. I'd give it a solid. I don't think you need to see it in theaters. I'd give it a solid. Wait till home wide release. Wait till it's on Netflix, or wait till you can buy it on Blu-ray or something like that. So I give it a solid. Watch it on Netflix. It was good. Definitely worth your time.
All right, and that's it for us here at the Frandreview.
Mm-hmm.
I think you'll probably be seeing us after we see John Wick 2.
You will fucking be seeing us after we John Wick 2. I can actually do that review right now. It's the best movie I've ever seen. You should watch the first one because it is also the best movie ever made.
Just give them all. Just give.
Tell us about the Jack Reacher franchise.
Fuck off, Jack Reacher.
Give it the props it deserves.
No, John Wick. Give Keanu Reeves all your money. And
Jack
go see
Reacher
it.
is literally nothing compared to the John Wick franchise.
It was a pretty good franchise. Well, we're waiting for the third one.
Nope.
Disregard those
All right.
remarks.
So yeah, we'll see you next month when we see John Wick 2. Check out Split if you want to. See you guys next time.
Now check out John Wick.